channel name is 80 for News Channel. Ukraine's conflict continues to capture global attention, and the situation in Kharkiv is a focal point. Russian forces are pressing their offensive, causing deep concerns and significant impacts on both local civilians and international relations. What does this mean for Ukraine and its allies? This post will break down the latest developments, the strategic importance of Kharkiv, and the broader implications of this ongoing conflict. Stay tuned for a comprehensive update on the ground realities and geopolitical stakes. The conflict in Ukraine remains a pressing issue, with the ongoing Russian offensive in Kharkiv adding to the complexities of the situation. Understanding the key players and historical context is crucial to grasping the gravity of the conflict and its implications for the region. The conflict involves several key players, notably Russia and Ukraine. Russia's involvement in the conflict stems from its historical ties to Ukraine and strategic interests in the region. Ukraine, on the other hand, is fighting to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Other relevant parties, such as the European Union and the United States, have also played roles in diplomatic efforts and sanctions against Russia. The conflict in Ukraine has deep historical roots, with significant events leading up to the current crisis. One pivotal moment was the annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014, which sparked international condemnation and sanctions. The conflict escalated with the outbreak of fighting in eastern Ukraine between Ukrainian forces and pro-Russian separatists. The ongoing conflict has resulted in a humanitarian crisis, displacement of civilians, and economic challenges for the region. Understanding the key players and historical context of the Ukraine conflict is essential for comprehending the complexities and implications of the conflict on the region. The involvement of Russia, Ukraine, and other parties, along with the historical events that have shaped the current situation, highlights the multifaceted nature of the conflict and the challenges in finding a resolution. The ongoing Russian offensive in Kharkiv has escalated tensions and raised concerns about the implications for the region. Let's delve into the key events, strategic objectives, and the impact of this offensive. The Russian offensive in Kharkiv began with a swift incursion into the region, catching many by surprise. Russian forces quickly seized key strategic locations, leading to a series of intense skirmishes with local defense forces. As the offensive progressed, airstrikes intensified, causing significant damage to infrastructure and civilian areas. The latest developments suggest a protracted conflict with no clear resolution in sight. Russia's motives behind the offensive in Kharkiv are multifaceted. One key objective is to establish a buffer zone to protect its interests and maintain influence in the region. By controlling Kharkiv, Russia aims to gain leverage in the broader geopolitical landscape, exerting pressure on neighboring countries and regional powers. The offensive also serves to showcase Russia's military capabilities and assert dominance in the ongoing conflict. The Russian offensive in Kharkiv has had far-reaching consequences, affecting not only the immediate conflict zone but also the wider region. Humanitarian concerns have risen as civilians bear the brunt of the fighting, with reports of widespread displacement and casualties. Geopolitically, the offensive has shifted power dynamics and strained diplomatic relations, sparking fears of a broader conflict. The outcomes of this offensive remain uncertain, raising questions about the region's stability and future prospects. In the face of the escalating conflict in Ukraine, the international community has come together to respond to the crisis with a mix of sanctions, diplomatic efforts, and interventions aimed at de-escalating tensions and promoting peace. Let's delve into the various aspects of the international response to the Russian offensive in Kharkiv. Russia's military actions in Ukraine. Several countries and organizations, including the European Union and the United States, have imposed a series of economic sanctions on Russia. These sanctions target key sectors of the Russian economy, such as finance, energy, and defense, with the aim of exerting pressure on the Russian government to change its course of action. Diplomatic channels have been actively utilized to seek a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine. The United Nations, NATO, and individual countries have been involved in diplomatic negotiations aimed at de-escalating the situation and fostering dialogue between the warring parties. These efforts have included peace talks, ceasefire agreements, and diplomatic dialogues to address the root causes of the conflict. The effectiveness of international interventions in resolving the conflict in Ukraine has been met with mixed results. While sanctions have put economic pressure on Russia and diplomatic efforts have helped facilitate dialogue, the conflict continues to persist with ongoing military actions and humanitarian crises. The international community continues to navigate complex geopolitical dynamics to find a sustainable solution to the crisis in Ukraine. In conclusion, the international response to the conflict in Ukraine underscores the importance of global cooperation and solidarity in addressing complex security challenges. Through a combination of sanctions, diplomatic efforts, and interventions, the international community is working towards a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Kharkiv, emphasizing the need for sustained dialogue and collaboration in promoting peace and stability in the region. The ongoing conflict in Kharkiv has led to a severe humanitarian crisis, impacting the lives of countless civilians in the region. Let's delve into the key aspects of this crisis and the challenges faced by those affected. The conflict has resulted in a large-scale displacement of civilians, forcing families to flee their homes in search of safety. The displacement has created a sense of instability and insecurity among the affected population, with many facing the harsh reality of being uprooted from their communities. Families are being separated, children are being orphaned, and the elderly are left vulnerable without adequate support systems. The conflict has severely disrupted access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and clean water. Hospitals and medical facilities are overwhelmed with the influx of wounded individuals, making it challenging to provide adequate care to those in need. Schools have been forced to close, denying children their right to education and a sense of normalcy. The lack of clean water sources poses a significant threat to public health, increasing the risk of waterborne diseases among the affected population. Humanitarian organizations are mobilizing efforts to provide assistance to those impacted by the crisis in Kharkiv. These organizations are working tirelessly to deliver food, shelter, medical supplies, and psychosocial support to the affected population. However, the volatile security situation and limited access to certain areas pose significant challenges to delivering aid effectively. Coordination among humanitarian agencies is crucial to ensure that aid reaches those in need in a timely and efficient manner. The humanitarian crisis unfolding in Kharkiv underscores the urgent need for sustained international support and solidarity to alleviate the suffering of civilians caught in the midst of conflict. As the situation continues to evolve, it is paramount that all parties involved prioritize the well-being and safety of innocent civilians above all else. The future of the Ukraine conflict hinges on the decisions and actions taken by all involved parties. While the road to peace may seem daunting, the possibility of a resolution remains a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. It is crucial for stakeholders to prioritize dialogue and diplomacy to pave the way for a more stable and secure future for Ukraine and its people. The Russian offensive in Kharkiv is a critical development in the ongoing Ukraine conflict. The aggression continues to escalate, affecting both military strategies and civilian lives. Understanding the dynamics on the ground helps grasp the broader implications for regional stability.